All right, guys. So a little late to the party here. I didn't want to stay up late as fuck and make a video. That's on me. So we're getting to it now. Um, Basically, as you guys saw, we basically all just witnessed just the greatest disgrace to not just boxing, not just combat sports, but basically to the world at this point. I mean, no, this genuinely was horrendous. This whole event was terrible. Um, Fucking Netflix just couldn't get their shit together. The stream was terrible for most people. I personally was one of the lucky few, I think. I actually had a pretty good stream, to be fair. Really only like one interruption early in the Serrano Taylor fight. And then it came back, and I just kind of reset my shit, and it came back just fine, and then we were good for the rest of the night. But outside of that, outside of actually, to be fair, outside of which we'll get to in a second here, outside of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, I didn't really see the rest of the fights. I didn't care. I'm not really a boxing guy as it is anyway. And to be fair, I was like, I don't really give a fuck who's fighting on the Jake Paul undercard for real. And I don't even know. Maybe I'm wrong in saying this. Again, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. I think they only had like 4 fights on the whole card, and it took them till fucking midnight to even start the Tyson Paul fight, and I was just like, I don't know, dude. Something's got to be fucking said for boxing's pacing in general. I just feel like they take so long to just get these guys in the fucking ring and actually throwing hands. There's always got to be like a whole fucking 45 minutes of like filler and just bullshit that no one cares about, and like, oh, here's more of the same footage we showed all fight week, and yeah, I don't know. It don't fucking matter. Look, point is though, fucking Mike Tyson should not have been in that ring. The fight should have never even happened. Like, it was just so bad. And I just can't believe we even saw this, and I can't believe people even let this go through. And I'm honestly just so disappointed with not just like the commissions, but the fucking fans, the people that thought for a second that, I mean, Mike was sauced up, like, to be fair. So it's like, you never know. And to be fair to him as well, that first round, I even said to myself, he landed, like, I don't even know what he landed. I don't even know if he landed, but he was, like, coming at him with some good shots. And I literally said out loud, I was like, oh shit, he's got it. Like, he's still in there. Like, Mike's gonna fucking starch this kid. And then after that, he basically just did nothing for the rest of the fight, which I'm not hating on him for. I mean, the dude is 58 years old, almost 60. Like, he's been wearing that knee brace for fucking like 4 months straight during this camp. He just had health issues because he's old as fuck that had to push this fight back further, and that's why I got delayed in the first place. And it's just this whole thing of like, why did we let this, not even, I was gonna say grown ass man, this old man in the ring, and shit that like I'm surprised more people weren't saying, and I know it's an extreme, and like I get it, so it's like I understand why like people probably thought, oh, like whatever, shut the fuck up, but like I get it's an extreme, but like this motherfucker could have died in there, like excuse my voice, but like fuck man, like this motherfucker could have died in there. He literally could have fucking died. Like, imagine if his legs would hold up, right? I mean, that was the biggest thing. I mean, his fucking legs, like, you could just tell he was, like, in pain. His knees, like, his legs, even when he wasn't getting rocked, his legs were fucking buckling and shit. Like, he had zero stability, regardless, again, because he's an old man. But, like, when he was in there, dude, it was just like, what the fuck? I don't even know, dude. It's just I don't want to rant on it for too long because I do want to make this short and sweet and just get on with it. But like the reality is this man should have never been in there. I mean, he just I don't know. He just could have he could have died, and it was just embarrassing, honestly, truly. It was embarrassing to see, not from his standpoint. Like that motherfucker at the end of the day, he got in there, respect, you know? He got in there at 58 against. Everybody wants to shit on Jake and act like Jake doesn't box or can't box. Still, I can't believe we're still saying that, even though like yeah, he's never fought like real boxers, and when he even fought like a remotely decent boxer in Tommy Fury, like he can get fucked up, but you know he lost. He got outboxed, but like he can box. Jake can box. He's not this fucking garbage ass like YouTube boxer anymore that would fight on like Misfits. Like, no, he's a boxer. Like, he's not a fucking great one, but he can box. Boxing is so much of a different sport. It's so much of a different art. And is my fucking webcam fucking tweaking right now? Hold up, buddy. I don't know. It looked like it was getting out of blur. But anyways, regardless, look. Point is, all I'm saying, this fight never should have happened. I'm disappointed, to be honest, with the fact that it did. Um, and it just is what it is. But I will say, I did kind of think that it was gonna go one of two ways, either like how it did, or I was kind of thinking like, well, this I was like, it's either gonna be like they're both gonna go out there and try and kill each other, which you could arguably say they did try to do in a sense, but as we see by this quote from Jake here, like the other way it could have gone was how it went, and that was like, yeah, they were gonna put on a show. Like Jake did hit him with some good shots, and Mike was throwing when he threw, which he didn't do a lot of, to be fair. But at the end of the day, it was just kind of like, damn, like they did just kind of put on a show and do what they needed to do. They sold it like they were gonna kill each other. It got a lot of viewers. They made millions. Good for them. Who cares? Good for them, bro. They made millions. And nobody can blame them except for the people that were watching and supported the fight. So you can't really be mad about that. But at the end of the day, Jake especially, I think, I mean, fair play. Like if Tyson could have knocked him out, I'm sure he would have, 100%. Like I'm not saying that Tyson was like playing it soft on Jake, and no. But I do think that Jake was probably doing that with Tyson 100%. And again, as you can see by the quote, like that almost guarantees it. Literally said, I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt. And that's true. Like Mike didn't need to take any real serious damage. Like you didn't need to actually knock out Mike Tyson, and that would have just made it worse. And I don't know. It just would have been bad. It was bad regardless, but it just would have been worse if Mike actually got hurt, actually got knocked out. Because he's so old and because he was juiced up too. Like your body's already under so much pressure when you're on steroids, and especially when you are older. Like there's so many heart issues. I mean, and let's be honest, like he was juiced. There's no way that he wasn't. He's 58 years old, and to be fair to him, he's actually in like phenomenal shape for like his build and stature and being the age he is. So there's that. But it was just like, yeah, dude, like they played it safe. It was kind of a glorified exhibition. They maybe took it a little bit harder. It wasn't like proper exhibition style, but at the end of the day, that's just the way it was. So fair play to him, let's not do this shit again, there's like, I get all the memes, bro. Everybody's fucking saying all this shit. Connor was going crazy. I don't know if you guys saw Connor. Connor was fucking going crazy on Twitter. They're all deleted now. But he was saying some wild shit about, next opponents and things that I probably can't say on here. But, yeah, man. I don't know. It was a disgrace. Let's not do it again. But moving on, I did want to touch just a little bit on the Serrano Taylor fight because there was a little bit of controversy. People are saying Serrano got robbed, and to be fair, it was a banger fight. Like it was so good, and it was just a fun ass fight. Like these women were like proper getting in there, ready to throw down, and it was actually dope. It was good. It was obviously more exciting than the main event, and that's kind of, I guess, as a co-main, maybe what you're hoping to do. Put on a show and steal the show. And I honestly, they did. Like at hindsight, 2020, they did. They stole the show. It was a great fight. The robbery, though, I don't know. I don't think it was a robbery. I think I wasn't watching like super attentively, trying to score the fight. So it's like I guess I can't sit here and say that it wasn't a robbery for sure, but I do feel like, yeah, she got the point taken for the headbutt, blah, 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 blah. Serrano threw more because she's making a fit of it. She's like, I threw more, and she got the point taken, and I still lost. It's rigged, blah, 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 blah. And her coaches were fucking yapping up a storm, after the fight on the mic, talking the same shit about, oh, she needs to stop headbutting. She does headbutt a lot, from what I've seen. She does lead with the head. She's done it in previous fights. Previous opponents get fucked up too. It's the same shit. So I get it. It is definitely intentional. I'm not saying it's not intentional. But to say that this fight specifically was a robbery straight up because of it, I don't know. I just don't see that. I don't think that's the case. Um, as you can see, I mean, shit, the percentages were almost identical. Katie Taylor definitely threw less, but again, like everyone was, I even saw tweets. I think this was actually the tweet that I saw. The guy was like, "Numbers don't lie," like she threw. Numbers do lie. Numbers lie all the time, bro. Like volume to damage does not mean, you know, it's not. Yeah, it's like you can't just be like, well, I threw more shots, and so therefore the numbers look better, and I landed more shots, so therefore the numbers look better. But, you know, maybe maybe Taylor threw the more damaging shots, guys. Did we ever think about that? And again, I'm not saying that she did. I can't really speak too heavily on this fight. I was watching, but I was more just like, holy shit, this is insane. I wasn't actually like focusing on trying to score the fight logically, and I was definitely just getting caught up in the hype, and it was late. I'm fucking tired. I didn't really care too much, but at the end of the day, I just don't see the robbery shit of it. I think that everybody's gassing it up. Fuck it, do a third fight. Do a third fight and prove it wasn't a robbery. Because right now, I just feel like people need to relax on it. Was it a little dirty? The headbutt, yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, it's a combat sport, bro. Like, what do you want to say? You're gonna get fucking headbutted. You're gonna get cut up. It's boxing, especially where there's a lot of guys that like lead with the head, dipping head movement. It's like this shit happens all the time. Again, not to say that it wasn't dirty or that Taylor doesn't do this, regularly anyway. But I just don't think that they can use that as an excuse, because that's kind of what it seems like. It's like, yeah, you lost, you got fucked up, and you got out damaged, honestly. Which, I get boxing is boxing, but damage trumps all at the end of the day. Uh, Moving on, a little side note as we kind of transition into the more MMA, UFC type stuff. Peter Yan signed a new contract. That's pretty cool. I didn't know anything about that, but good on him. Good for Peter, bro. We want to see him in the UFC. He's fucking sick. He always puts on good fights. We love him. He's a dog. Moving on to also the big news that broke immediately last night. Dana did not waste time in putting this up right after Mike got fucked up. Rakhmonov versus Gary, sick fight. Honestly, they did a little switcheroo with everybody. Obviously, Gary was supposed to fight Buckley, but that got scrapped because good old Colby Covington decided to come out of hiding and actually fight a legitimate contender for once, which is kind of crazy. But we'll get to that. But anyways, yeah, Rakhmonov Gary is announced. It's not a fucking interim title fight, which it probably should be, but realistically, it's just the UFC doesn't want to guarantee Gary the title fight after. Which honestly, if he wins, like, he probably deserves. I mean, if he beats fucking Rakhmonov, dude, like, arguably he should get the shot regardless. But I don't know. I don't see Gary winning this. He's not fucking, dude. He's not from where Rakhmonov's from, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It might be in the DNA, boys. It might be. It really might be, but you know what I mean? So I think Gary is probably going to lose this. I think it'll be competitive. I think Gary still has, whatever everybody wants to say. I think Gary has good striking. I think it looked shit in the MVP fight because MVP is good. He's underrated. He's still quick for his age, and he was able to kind of put it on Gary and get his shot off a little quicker. And Gary kind of had to stall out the fight in moments and win the rounds that he won to kind of win that fight, basically win it. But at the end of the day, he did. He stepped up against 18-0, 100% finish rate Rakhmonov when everybody else was yapping on fucking Twitter and yapping on Instagram and yapping away to fucking all the journalists and shit that, oh, I'm gonna step up, blah 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 blah. Which actually, what was bullshit, and again, not a lot of people are saying this because I don't know. I just don't know if everybody saw it. It's not really super relevant right now. Usman apparently came out saying recently he didn't take this fight because it's on short notice. But I'm pretty positive, and I don't know, I can't pull it up. I couldn't find it, but like, let me know if anybody else saw this. I'm pretty positive, like, maybe even like a few weeks ago, he came out and said something about how he's like basically like I'm gonna butcher this, but basically something about how he's always ready and like short notice doesn't matter, but then proceeded to like not step up because because he had brought up the whole Hamza situation about how he's done it on you know 3 days notice or whatever the fuck it was or a week's notice, and this is like 3 weeks notice, so this is nothing, blah 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 blah. But then proceeded to not fight this fight because he wasn't ready for the December date. So whether that was him speaking or him knowing that maybe he's going to be on that Australia card, that could also be what it is. You know what I mean? But regardless, everybody was fucking talking about how they wanted to fight this guy and they didn't. And Ian Gary, with a fight already scheduled, with a built-in excuse, he stepped up and he's gonna fucking fight Rakhmonov. So respect to him. I fuck Gary, but like respect to him for taking this fight. And but I do think Rakhmonov's gonna win. I think he's just he's gonna be way stronger in the clinch. He's gonna just fucking be. I really just see in the most respectful way possible. Gary's just not. He's just a little bit soft. He's just a little bit soft, and I think Rakhmonov's gonna probably just dominate him. I think Gary will have his moments. Like I say, I believe in his striking. I think he's got really sneaky striking. Sorry, and I think he's gonna have his moments. But I think at the end of the day, he's gonna get outpowered and outstrengthed, and it's gonna be probably a difficult fight for him. And I think Rakhmonov, especially if it goes into the later rounds, is gonna start to take over more and more because it is a 5 rounder. It's a title eliminer, so it is a 5 rounder. It's going to be a banger fight. I see Rakhmonov kind of edging out Gary, though, in this situation. Moving on, obviously, respect to Gary, but definitely respect to Covington. He's actually coming out after this layoff and taking a reasonable contender in Joaquin Buckley. Buckley's a fucking dog, bro. He's a savage. If I'm not mistaken, he trains out of Murcielago, right out here in Michigan. So good to see him getting a good fight for him. For this is a respectable matchup. It's somebody that is higher ranked than him. If he beats Covington, which I really do believe he will, he's definitely going to be able to use that as a platform to get an even more desirable fight. I mean, obviously that's how it works, but the UFC is what it is, and sometimes they kind of, it's not always about who you beat. So, but either way, good for Buckley. This is a good matchup for him, and respect to Covington for taking this. I just don't think that he's going to be able to survive. But basically, this fight's going to be good. I just see Buckley like similar to like Rakhmonov Gary. I just think Covington will probably have a few moments. He'll probably initially, when they're both dry, he'll be able to kind of defend those takedowns. But I think eventually he's going to get him. Buckley's a strong, powerful motherfucker, and he's going to probably just maul him, especially towards the end when Colby's going to get tired. Everybody keeps saying about his gas tank. I don't think we're going to see that anymore. I think that's kind of gone away recently, and I think he's gonna fade eventually. I mean, people forget he is older now. Like, he's not the same guy. He's been out for a while. It's been a while since his chin's been tested against a real guy, a real powerful guy. So it's like, is he gonna be able to take the shots from Buckley? Because Buckley's gonna land him. I mean, Buckley will land him. He's gonna dip in and out of space really well, and he'll find the shots for sure, and he'll get the takedowns eventually. If he doesn't finish him quick from the power shots up top, it's going to probably be a brutal beatdown when he gets takedowns. So, I see this is probably TKO round 1, 2. If not KO, guys. I mean, honestly, we'll see. Like, Covington hasn't really been truly chinned, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But I see this fight ending early from Buckley. So. But that's just a quick little recap of what happened last night. Once again, I don't ever want to see anything like Jake Paul or Mike Tyson happen again. That shit was ridiculous. It was embarrassing. and Mike should have never been in there. Fair play to him for getting in there, but at the end of the day, like, let's just not do it again. And Amanda Serrano can quit yapping about the robbery. I don't think it was that big a deal. But yeah, then we got 2 banger fights coming up in the UFC. So yeah, should be pretty good. Talk to you guys later.